This is Olivia Osgood, and you are listening to the How to Quit Working Show. I'm glad that my mommy's an entrepreneur so that we get to spend lots of time together and she gets to homeschool me.
This is the How to Quit Working Show. Jeff Steinman believes entrepreneurship is the only true path to freedom. That's why he created the How to Quit Working Show, where you'll hear stories, insights, and inspiration from lifestyle fanatics who left their soul-sucking 9-to-5 job forever. Now, here's your host, author, entrepreneur, and ultimate lifestyle fanatic, Jeff Steinman.
Hello, and welcome to the How to Quit Working Show. This is Heather Osgood, your host of the Friday episode of the How to Quit Working program. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Whether you're having just an awful day and you're just feeling kind of down in the dumps, or whether you're having the best day ever, or maybe you're just somewhere in between, I'm super stoked that you're here with me, and I'm just really excited to share some good information and just some tips for you today. But before we get into that, I want to make sure that you've had a chance to check out our new daily podcast. It has been absolutely phenomenal. It's just a terrific program. Jeff Steinman has put a lot of work into it, and it's just these great little kind of sound bites. It's that 5-10 minutes of inspiration that you really need to get your day going, to get your path going, to really examine this idea of quitting your job and starting a business that's really going to give you the freedom and the lifestyle that you want. So if you haven't subscribed to the How to Quit Working Daily Show, I want you to go over to howtoquitworking.com/daily, and you can subscribe right there to the show. You can listen to it. You can go to iTunes and subscribe, or Stitcher and subscribe. It is all over the place, and thousands of people are checking this show out every day. And if you haven't had a chance to do it, you need to do it today. You need to do it as soon as this podcast is over. Check it out, because it's been incredible. And I'm really, really excited that we are able to reach so many people with just a quick bit of inspiration for their day. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about digging deep. So when you're talking about, building a business, when you're talking about making big changes in your life, oftentimes you kind of have to think about getting down to the next level, getting down to the next kind of depth of success. And I suppose you could take it either way. You could say maybe you wanted to go up to the next level of success and it's moving up. Or you could say you're just kind of digging in and you're really getting down to kind of the meat of your success and prosperity. My husband and I own a haircutting business, and we have owned it for 8 years. It's a terrific business. It's really my husband's mastermind. It's kind of his pride and joy. It's his love. He's put so much time and energy into this business. And it's been running for 8 years now, and it's really, it's definitely hit a place where it's profitable, which is really exciting. And it's got everything that you would really want in a business. It's got a great, strong customer base. It's got a really good reputation in the community. We have a great group of staff that run the business. Neither my husband or I cut hair, and our passion really is business. We love entrepreneurship, and so we really wanted to create this business that would be kind of that passive income. I talk to hundreds of people, and I cannot tell you, probably half of the people that I speak to, one of the first words out of their mouth is, I want to start a business that creates passive income. And creating passive income is not an easy task. And fortunately or unfortunately, there's this kind of whole movement toward passive income and how great it is to get passive income. And I'm definitely a proponent for making sure that you're setting your business up so that you're not exchanging your time for money. However, passive income is pretty difficult to come by. It's not something that you can just hang up, a shingle or, put up a sign on a building and suddenly you're going to have a ton of passive income. You also can't just decide that you're going to start a website or you're going to start selling a product and all of this passive income is going to come rolling through your doors. It's a lot more difficult than that. And my husband and I learned firsthand kind of what it's like to have a business that really does create passive income. And it's a tremendous business model. And of course, it's wonderful. It's great not to have to feel like you have to be in a business, that you have to be there 40 hours a week or 60 hours a week or every single day. And we love the fact that we have this, just tremendous dynamic staff that is there. And they are constantly just pouring their hearts and inspiration into the business and really have helped develop this dynamic customer base. And we're able to be the visionaries. We're able to be the leaders of the organization and really allow that company to operate most days without a ton of hands-on, participation in the business. We, in most cases, are not working in the business. We are working on the business, which is exactly where you really want to be in a company. Now, unfortunately, after 8 years, you have a tendency to get a little complacent. It's easy to say that business is set, that business has everything that it needs, and we don't need to stress about it. We don't need to worry about what it's doing. We know that it's going to be plodding along at this kind of steady course. And of course, it has its ups and downs, but in general, the ups are greater than the downs are. And, really, I think we both just agreed we had gotten to a place where the business has been operating fine, but kind of the passion is gone, the spark is gone. And so we decided that we were going to take a day and we were going to really spend some time on just strategizing about that business, just thinking about how can we take this business that is really operating well and create something that is much better. How can we take this company really to the next level? And what kind of energy would it take for us to really get that business up into some levels of real profitability? How do we get it to be that kind of dream of, this high number? When we started the company, we really had aspirations that we'd like to franchise that company. And it still very may well happen at some point. We might decide that franchising is the direction we want to go. And part of the reason that I wanted to share this with you today is I want to kind of just give you an inside perspective of what it might be like to coach with me. So if you were thinking, gosh, I wonder what it would be like to coach with Heather. If you're an established business owner, these are some of the things that we might talk about if we decided to do a long strategy session, or if we wanted to, really look at the growth of your business over a long period of time. Now, obviously, each business is going to have its own unique challenges. It's going to have its own unique struggles and all of its unique advantages. It's going to have all of its great parts and the elements that are thriving. And that isn't going to be the same for every organization. They're all going to be different. But this is kind of just a little sample of what it would be like. Now, obviously, there are tons and tons of different types of businesses out there. And I actually was thinking about how great it would be to just do a little bit of research and find out what kind of distribution of businesses there are out there, because online businesses are becoming so prevalent, and the brick and mortar businesses really are, becoming, I think, more scarce. Obviously, we all still do buy products and services at brick and mortar businesses every day. And so it could just be a perception. It could be that maybe there aren't as many businesses online as we think that there are, but it's really interesting to look at that balance. So when you talk about really taking these techniques online, is going to be a totally different experience than looking at an actual brick and mortar business. And it's been such an interesting experience for me. My husband and I also have an online business to really look at the differences and, and look at some of the advantages and disadvantages of what it's like to have an online business and what it's like to have a brick and mortar business. So as we set out on this day-long strategy session, the very first topic of discussion was our sales. Obviously, that is the driving force behind any business. If you don't have sales, then you don't have a business, you have a hobby. And that's something that's so, so important for everyone to realize. If you have a business that has been operating for a number of years and it's not making any money, then it's really not a business. You have to have a sales-focused organization. Those sales have to drive everything in that company. And if your sales aren't driving your growth, then really you got something that's out of whack. You need to put sales at the center. Making that income is going to give you the capability of developing a better product and service, developing a better customer base, getting a better marketing strategy out there. But you have to have the dollars. The dollars are the big drivers. And the only way that you're going to get the dollars is by really, really focusing on your sales. So that's where we first started on our strategy session, was let's take a look at our sales. How are they doing? Now, each year we've been steadily increasing our sales. I believe we were up 15% last year, and each year we've been between that 15 and 20% mark, which really in a down economy has been pretty phenomenal. The business has been doing really well, which is awesome. But again, I go back to that perspective of when you do have a business that is kind of steadily increasing, you get to kind of a place of complacency, and or you get to a place of inflated expectations. You think, well, gosh, we increased our sales by X number of dollars last month. Why can't we double that this month? Or last year we increased our sales by 15%. Why can't we increase them by 30% the following year? And it's really not always that easy to increase your sales. You really do have to come up with a new strategy and a new approach to get you to where you need to be in terms of increase in sales. So we wanted to examine that, and we had done a price increase. So predominantly we do haircuts for men. That's what we do at our business, and it's been very successful. And we have a price point, and every couple of years we've increased the price fairly steadily since we opened 8 years ago. Research does show that when you increase your price, less people will leave than the increase in the price will provide in an overall increase in sales. So generally, increasing your price is a good idea as long as it's not something that you're doing too frequently. Really examining, can the market bear it? Where does it fit in with your competition? Obviously, you have to have some analysis in there, but increasing your price can be a really good way if you've got a steady business to increase your sales. So you might want to think about that in your strategy for getting more sales in the door. Now, obviously, since we had just increased the sales, we didn't have the ability, I think we did it like 6 months ago. It might not even been that long ago. We can't raise the price again. So that's not a good option for us to increase sales. So next we look at how do we increase our average dollar sale. If we increase our average dollar sale by just $1, averaging about 1,200 customers per month, that could equal $18,000 in increased sales for the year. And that would be fairly significant for our business to have an $18,000 increase in sales. So that was a big goal that we set at our strategy session, was a goal to be very conscious about what our average dollar sale was and how we could increase that average dollar sale. That was really important to us. Next, we really examined the products and services that we're providing. Now, as I mentioned, we do predominantly haircuts for men. Now, there are a handful of different variations on the haircut. We have a deluxe option. We have waxing services that we provide. We're also going to be doing hot shaves starting next month. So we really took a look at what were all of the products and services that we're offering. And we also really delved into what are the top 5 hottest selling products that we have. And are the stylists actually selling the products that we need them to sell? Are the customers seeing the advantage of purchasing that product? And so really looking at that, looking at the services, looking at the products, that is going to lead right into our ability to increase our average dollar sale. Do we have a really strong system in place where our stylists feel like they understand how to provide customers the opportunity to purchase a product? If you have a business and you're working with employees, you personally may or may not feel your own ability to sell. And if you don't personally feel like you have the ability to sell, then it's even more challenging to get your staff to sell. Oftentimes, when you are dealing with a group of people, really motivating them and getting them to a place psychologically where they feel comfortable upselling a client to a different product or a different service can be very challenging for them. One of the challenges that we really face as an organization is when you have a whole group of stylists working together, they fall into kind of the group think mentality. So if one of them says, oh no, I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to promote that product, or I don't feel comfortable selling that, it's very easy for all of the stylists and all of the team to kind of just jump on that bandwagon of, oh yeah, well, if she's not going to do it, then I'm not going to do it. And so that can be a challenge. If you've got a team that you're working with, you want to really be conscious of this idea that, you really want to make sure that you have that ability to train them and empower them to feel successful in a sales role. And when you're looking at doing any sort of increase, whether it's a pricing increase for your product, whether it's really a goal to increase your average dollar sale, having a sales staff or having a staff that is sales driven and realizes that the organization is a sales driven organization really will make the difference between you actually selling products and services and just kind of plodding along. So really examining those was an important step for us. One of the things that we also examined looking at the higher priced services that we provide is really just kind of this idea that if we have these upper end products, like the waxes and the hot shaves, if people aren't taking advantage of those services, might it be that they're priced too high? If we lower the price of that product or service, is it going to allow a greater customer base to be attracted to actually purchasing that product? Making sure that you're actually providing a product or a service that someone wants to buy and that it's priced appropriately is the difference between you really having success in sales within your company and really not having the sales at all. Now, obviously, these are also recommendations that are specifically designed for that brick and mortar business. We're not doing a lot of one-on-one selling. I don't have to go out on sales calls and convince men to come in and get haircuts. Men either want a haircut or they don't want a haircut. And when they come in the door, they've already made that decision that they're going to get the haircut. So then my upsell process is just the idea of either selling them another level or a higher level of service and or a product as they're walking out the door. So you really have to examine your business model and see how it all flows and all works in for you. Next, we really wanted to examine our marketing. How was our marketing working? We obviously have been in business for 8 years, and when you've been in business for 8 years and you have a very large customer base, it's easy to really rely on word of mouth. And we really do find that word of mouth does work fairly well for us. I always cringe when I say that because I've been in advertising for so long, and word of mouth is really not a form of advertising you have any control over. I don't know who's going to go out and talk about our business to whomever they want. I don't know if 10 people are going to go talk about our business or if 100 people are going to go talk about our business. We have no control over word of mouth. However, when you've been an established business and you have thousands of customers, you're going to have a certain percentage of word of mouth traffic. And really, that is our number one lead source. We're very diligent about tracking where our customers are coming from. When we have a first-time customer, we always ask them how they heard about our shop and what has brought them there. And that really does help us examine our marketing efforts. It helps us really know, is this something that's working and what is driving that new customer base into the business? So we walked through each of the areas of our marketing strategy. We talked about what was working and what wasn't working. We just talked about new ideas. What were some new concepts and ways that we could kind of change the landscape a little? When you have a marketing plan that you've been running for several years, it can get stale. It can get old. If you're running the same ads in the same locations with the same images, people start to get to a place where they don't even see them anymore. So you do have to have that constant, fresh, exciting messaging and exciting really appeal to make people want to come into your business when you're talking about any marketing effort. So we really were able to examine that. The other thing that we really took a good look at was our social media. And we are a university town, so we do attract a large university population and customer base into our business. And that is terrific, but we have to really examine what are the avenues that we're using to get that university student, that college student into our business. In the past, we really have always relied very heavily on these college coupon books that have worked really very well. And over the years, there have become more and more of those. And we've also seen that there are new products that are now being offered. There's a great new app that is much more user-friendly and really does hit that demographic much better and is a lot cheaper and is something that we're really examining. Is that something that we should take advantage of and really abandon the idea of the printed coupon? So those are all just different concepts. And what I really want you to think about in marketing your business is, have you been doing stuff for a long time, or are you doing anything? Frequently, there are businesses who are, not doing any marketing for their business. We have the luxury of having a really great email list. We email people 6-week haircut reminders, and that has worked really well to get people to come in. We have text messaging programs where we text people, and all of those are really just great tools to take advantage of for marketing the business, and they're really just almost virtually free. And so it was really exciting to examine our marketing and look at what were some new techniques and new things that we could do to really, drive traffic to our business. I had the pleasure the other day of listening to a gentleman on a podcast who was from a social media concept and content development company. And he made a comment that I just laughed my head off about. He said the goal of social media is not to get good at social media. The goal of social media is to drive traffic into your business. The goal of social media is to increase your sales. And I just laughed at that so hard because so many people have this goal in business of becoming great at social media. It doesn't matter if you're great at social media if you're not selling anything on the back end. And, so that was something that we really took a look at with our social media plan and strategy. Are we just trying to get good at social media? Are we actually creating social media that's driving traffic into our business? I want you to think about that as well. Think about where you're at with your social media marketing plan and if it's actually really driving business and dollars into your company. Next, it was really important for us to examine our team. We do have an excellent staff, and having that kind of more passive approach to the company is really important for us to look at. How is this staff doing? Are we really providing them with the value that they need? Are they being supported in the way that we need them to be, that they need to be supportive? Are we providing them with the training that is really going to empower them to perform at their highest level? Are we creating an environment within our company that, just makes people really want to come and work for our business? That's really important to us. We want to create a culture within our organization that really is one of kind of, of freedom for our employees and an organization that really helps nurture each of them and their goals and desires to be the person that they want to be and really to make the living that they want to make. And it's wonderful too when you put in incentive programs that allow your employees to be rewarded for their performance. When they're performing at a higher level, it helps the company, the organization, and it also helps the employees. So it was important to us to really examine who are the key players of the business. How do we help support them? How do we help grow them? How do we help, really take them to the next level? And how do we get the whole team, together? How do we get them to function as just a really great supportive unit? Because when you're going to work every day, you want to work with your friends. You don't want to work somewhere where you feel like you're miserable. And, and it's really interesting for us because we are working with a lot of millennials. And one of the things that is constantly a shocker for me is that time off is a huge, huge deal for millennials. They really, they want to have that freedom and flexibility to say, hey, I'm going to go to a concert this weekend, and if you don't give me the time off, then I'm going to quit. Or, I have to have this day off, or I have to have these 2 weeks off, or whatever the case may be. So we want to make sure as an organization that we're really providing a positive working environment for our employees, that they're excited to come to work, that they're pumped up about what we're doing, and that they feel like they're really part of a growing and thriving organization. So if you're a business owner and you're thinking, how do you create that environment for your employees? Sit down with them, talk to them, ask them what they want, figure out what their motivations are, figure out what's going to really drive them to perform at a higher level. And for us, it was, that's a constant discussion for us because the employees play such an important role in the organization is how do we make sure that they're really feeling valued? How do we make sure that they're feeling taken care of? How do we make sure that they're feeling heard? How do we make sure that we do have a really strong team and that we don't have maybe one or two people who are, kind of bringing the team down or, maybe bringing in a negative vibe to the organization. So it's really, really important for us to make sure that our employees feel protected, that they feel really, just empowered to be the best that they can be. And it's so great working with a team of people, especially when you're talking about a hairstylist, because they have this kind of creative vibe about them anyways, which really gives them a unique approach to life. And it's been really fun, especially for someone like me, because I can tend to be a little bit high strung, and it's nice to be with people who are just a little bit more laid back and don't always take themselves quite as seriously as I have a tendency of doing. So really examining your employees is important. And then finally, we really talked about our finances. Not only did we talk about sales, like I had mentioned at the beginning of our session, but we talked about where were the finances of the company? What were we doing with the money? Were we spending it appropriately? Were there opportunity to cut expenses? Were we really thinking about how are we maximizing the profitability of the organization? And what areas of the finances do we really need to be monitoring more closely so that we could really make sure that that area grew? And a big part of growth in any business, especially when it comes to sales and financial activities, is just constant awareness. If you know that your average dollar sale is $50 and you have a goal to get it to $55, it's only going to get to $55 if you've got a plan in place and then you're constantly tracking it. So when you look at it week in and week out, you can say, oh, well, my sales at $50, I want it to be at 55. This next week, oh, it's at 51. Great, we're headed in the right direction. Next week, oh, it's at 52. Following week, it's back to 51. Like, what happened? So being really, really conscious of where you're at in your sales and where you're at with your finances makes a world of difference. It really, really, where your attention is, that is where your energy is going to flow. And mentally, you're going to really want to step up to that challenge. So that's what we did in that day. We really, really said, how are we mentally stepping up to the challenge of creating a greater organization? How are we taking this business that is successful and really saying, we're not okay with it being, good. We want it to be excellent. We want this business to not just be a great business. We want it to be phenomenal. We want everyone in our community to say they have to go get their haircut at our business. And how do we do that? How do we create that environment? And if you're not in your business constantly really kind of digging in and asking yourself these difficult questions, it's never going to grow. It's never going to get to a high level of prosperity. You really, really do have to take these opportunities to step back and really think about what is actually happening in your business. And that is what I just have absolutely loved about coaching, is having that opportunity to really just see inside people's businesses. I've loved to be able to say, gosh, have you considered this? Where is your attention? Where are your goals? Where is your massive leverage? What is really creating this drive for you to take your business or your organization to the next level? And when we really are able to dig in and get to the root of either maybe, some thought processes that are holding us back, or our lack of attention, or possibly just a feeling of overwhelm, which happens pretty frequently in business. When you have a ton of activities on your plate, when you start a new business, you are not only your kind of visionary and brainchild, and you're not only the person who's really good at doing either that product or service you're selling. Suddenly you become the accountant for the business. You become the marketing specialist for the business. You become the sales expert for the business. You become the customer service expert for the business. You wear a lot of hats, and at times it can feel overwhelming. It can feel like, gosh, when am I ever going to really get to a place where I have this ability to step up and take things to the next level? And that's where really that heavy and neutral accountability of a coach comes into play, because they have that ability of saying, why are you doing this activity? Is there somebody else who could do that better? Or where are there opportunities for you to really save time? Or where are there opportunities for you to save money? Where are there opportunities for you to make money? And really kind of getting down to some of the fundamental questions that separate you from being kind of mediocre or being, just okay and really, really thriving. And that's our point always, is to get your business to a thriving level where you know every day in every way that your business is the best that it can be. I can tell you right now, I love our haircutting business. It is phenomenal. Is it the very best that it can be? No, it's not. It has opportunities for improvement. And the only way that it's going to get better is if we put in that effort. And truthfully, at the end of the day, we have to decide. Right now, it's providing us a bit of passive income, which is really nice. If we were to step inside that business, if we were to fully immerse ourselves in that company, what could that company provide us? And how long would we really need to work in that business? How much time and effort would we need to put in to get it maybe to that next level and then step away and create some passive income? That's what I want you to think about. If you're a person right now who is sitting there and saying, gosh, I would love to quit my job. I really want to start a business. I really want that passive income. I really love the idea of traveling around the world and, just really living my passion and living for who I am. You need to do that. You need to take that step. But I want you to really examine this idea that passive income isn't something that just falls in your lap. It's not just something that you can, record a few videos and throw them up on the internet and people are going to come flocking to you, throwing money at you. It does take a lot of really hard work and effort to get to that place, to build an organization, to build a company that's actually really providing you with passive income. So really think about that. I'm not saying that passive income isn't possible. Passive income is absolutely possible. It just has to be attained in the right way, in the right order. And if you try to put the income before you put the effort, it's just really not going to work. You have to put the effort out there first. You have to push full throttle. You have to dig deep. And then once you get to a place of success, then you can kind of step back and you can evaluate the systems, the processes, the employees, and everything you've put into place to really, really create that dynamic organization. At the end of the day, it's not always about having resources to create your business. It's about having the resourcefulness to take yourself to where you need to be. That is such a key phrase that I'm going to say it again. It's not about having resources in life. It's about being resourceful. You are the type of person that has the ability to be resourceful. You may not have all the money that you want today. You may not have all the money that you want tomorrow. But getting money isn't about having money. It's about being resourceful. It's about gathering yourself and surrounding yourself with all of those opportunities, with all of that information, with all of that knowledge, and with the kind of internal empowerment and really just that drive to actually really go out and accomplish something. And at the end of the day, most people don't have that drive. They don't have what it takes to really, really push themselves outside of their comfort zone to take that leap to either improve the business that they currently have or to start a business to really get what they want in life. So if you're kind of in that place where you're like, gosh, I really am interested, or I really want a successful business, I encourage you to really just think about just taking that leap, doing those hard things that get you to where you want to be. I'm reading a great book right now about sales, and there's this hilarious cartoon in there that says, your regularly scheduled program has been canceled tonight. You need to get off the couch, work a little bit so you can pay your bills. Working 3 nights a week isn't going to kill you. And I really just encourage you to think about that. What are some of the activities that you're doing in your life right now that you're creating those as musts in your life, when indeed they're not musts at all? You don't have to do any of those. If you really want to create a business that is going to be successful, or if you really want to take your current business to a much higher level of success, You need to get off the couch. You need to get up and really, really get to work, being that sales-driven organization, working in your business. I know that you have the ability of doing it. And if you're really feeling like you're in a place where you know you want to do it and you just need somebody to help you out through the process, I would just love to talk to you. Please give me a call anytime. You're more than welcome to email me. Log on to howtoquitworking.com. We have a new 1-800 number, so you can call us absolutely free. We would love to talk to you and really just get you going on this How to Quit Working journey. Whether you're wanting to start a business and you're not sure how to do it, whether you're a business owner and you're like, gosh, how do I get this business to the next level of profitability? How do I get more out of my company? How do I make it what I really want it to be? I would just love to talk to you, and I would just love to empower you to really get what it is that you want in life, because I know that you can do it and I know you can have it. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope that you really just have some time to let all of this sink in and really think about how really working in your business, working on your business, really thinking about making changes in your life, taking that action can make all the difference. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you next week.
Thanks for joining us on the How to Quit Working show. Tune in next time when we'll talk to another amazing person just like you who is now living the ultimate life of freedom and doing it on their terms. If you want to learn how to quit working and get these episodes delivered directly to you, visit howtoquitworkingshow.com.